Good morning, AP scholars, and welcome to another week of AP Language and Composition. It is the week of October 19th, and this week we are going to be working on creating a full fine line analysis. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of where you can find everything you need for this week. When you click into this week's folder, of course you can and should click on the This Day in History link and also the word of the day. Today's word for Monday is particularly intriguing. As you scroll down, you'll see your tasks outlined for this week in a suggested timeline, day 1, day 2, and day 3. Very similar to what we did last week. I have you working on day 1 on selecting an effective fine line and mining the line or passage that you select. On day 2, I have you writing the context paragraph and your analysis. So for your analysis, you would be synthesizing your notes in the passage study for your line or passage into a very polished and cohesive analysis paragraph or 2. We did not practice the context paragraph last week. Essentially, all you need for the context paragraph is a brief explanation of where your line or passage occurs in the text, what comes before it, what comes after it, and a statement about the significance of your line or passage within the text. Finally, on day 3 of your online learning, I have you focusing on crafting your emulation and writing your explication for your emulation. I have embedded links to last week's examples throughout all 3 of your work days this week. The 2 main things I wanted to point out to you, however, are the sample fine line analysis document. When you click in that, I would ask that you download it. If you don't download it, you can't see my marginal notes, so please go ahead and download that. Then when you open your downloaded version, when you open it, you'll be able to see all of my marginal notes that you couldn't see if you didn't download it. Please spend some time reading through this example. This example is not from Fahrenheit 451. It is from one of the next texts that we'll read. It's called The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. But please read through this example so that you see all the parts, and also read through my commentary in the margins as well. I give some good tips and reminders in those comments in the margins. Please note that you'll see me referring to rhetorical devices or rhetorical strategies throughout my notes and throughout this particular example. Those are not necessarily things that you have to worry about just yet. For our fine line for Fahrenheit 451, we're really focusing more on diction and syntax and more literary devices like figurative language and all the types of figurative language that you might pull out from your line. The other thing in your folder this week that I wanted to make sure you see is actually the document that you're going to be working in, so that you don't start in a Word document right away and then have to transfer your work. You'll actually be working in this fine line analysis document for the whole week or for the duration of your work on the fine line analysis. When you open this, it will provide you with a copy of my template. You can open it and begin your work directly in that template. It is set up just like the example that I just showed you. And so you'll be able to see all of the different sections outlined here. Just again, a reminder, wherever you see highlight here and paste the original passage or highlight and begin typing here, I actually want you to highlight that whole part and paste your passage there so that it turns blue, or highlight this whole part and start typing your notes about your passage. And that continues throughout the document. When you have finalized your work for your fine line analysis this week, You simply need to make sure that you actually hit the submit button. Your screen looks a little bit different than mine does from a teacher view. You just need to make sure that you hit the submit button and actually submit your work. If you have any questions as you are working this week, please, as always, feel free to text or email me. If you'd like my input on your analysis or on your emulation, feel free again to text or email me, and I'd be happy to give you some feedback as you're working this week. I hope you all enjoy your work on your fine lines. I know that they're a lot of hard work, but I hope that they will be gratifying in the end and that you'll appreciate using your mind in this way. I hope you all have a great week. Again, if you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out. Take care, everyone.